This is what I looked like back in 2021. As you can tell, I was quite overweight, a little bit chubby, and my diet was not the best. I was eating junk food every single day from Uber Eats and KFC, and I was doing so even though I couldn't actually afford it, because at the time I was in benefits and didn't have that much money, but I was still spending all that I have on just ordering food and chasing pleasure. And at the time, I actually wanted to lose weight, look a bit slimmer, but I would go to the grocery store, buy a bunch of healthy stuff. Then I would go home, put it in the fridge, and I would just sit in the fridge right away until it eventually expires and gets thrown out. And I kept going through the cycle of wanting to eat healthy, not eating healthy, feeling guilty afterwards, then feeling even more guilty because I threw a bunch of food that I paid money for in the bin. And it just kept going back and forth, and eventually in 2022 I started doing this habit that made it so much easier to stick to my diet, and it wasn't even a matter of me forcing myself to eat healthy. It was just instantaneous, where I would automatically eat the stuff that I viewed as the most optimal for my body. And that habit was meditation. Now, I know it's not gonna make much sense at first, but the reason why it was so effective for me and a lot of people that tried it is because when you meditate, it activates the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain in charge of logical thinking and decision making as well. So what happens is, what I noticed for me, is the longer I meditated for, it started to put a layer of logical thinking between me and my decisions. So let's say the thought of getting junk food pops up in my head, then my brain would automatically think, oh, I could get junk food, but it's not healthy. If I eat a lot, it'll lower my testosterone levels, and then I'll feel guilty afterwards, and then begin to name a bunch of reasons, and that bad decisions I was going to make now gets delayed much further. And what I've found as well is that when you meditate, your lizard brain, aka the amygdala, the part of your back of your head in charge of nervousness and anxiousness and those kind of emotions, begins to activate less. So you generally are in a better mood throughout the day as well. And you can imagine when you're in a better mood, you're not looking for food or some sort of gratification to escape whatever it is that you're feeling. What I noticed as well is that meditation also had a knock-on effect onto my workouts. Because I was meditating, my dopamine levels were much lower than usual. I was able to focus for much longer periods, which increased the quality of my workouts and put me in that flow athlete state a lot more often than usual. And if you're watching this far into the video, I assume you're sold on meditation and want to know how to get started. The best way to get started, in my opinion, is by using an app called Medito. It's a free app, no ads, and I'm not getting paid or affiliated or anything. It's just a good app that I use. And there's a few courses there that start you off with like 5-minute meditations and eventually progress into longer periods and more advanced meditations. And the best type of meditation I would advise you to do is mindful meditation. Now, mindful meditation is the kind of meditation where you sit down for a set period of time. If you're a beginner, I would advise you to go for 5 minutes for 1 week and slowly increase the time. And you try to bring all your attention to your breath and simply observe the breath without putting attention on your thoughts. And this is where I see a lot of beginners make a lot of mistakes, because they would think when you meditate, you're not meant to have thoughts in your head. Well, it's actually the complete opposite. You're meant to have thoughts come into your head. And the way meditation works is you will start off by focusing on the breath, feeling its sensation, feeling the contracting of your lungs and stomach. Then eventually a thought will pop up. And when that happens, you might dwell on it, you might focus on it a little bit, but then you realize, oh, I'm thinking about something. And once you have that realization, you then bring your attention back to the breath. And that cycle right there is essentially 1 rep of meditation. The same way when you go to the gym, if you want bigger arms, you just do bicep curls, you do multiple reps. Same thing here. Throughout that meditation period, you would repeat that cycle of thinking, then realizing you're thinking, then putting your attention back in the breath, and trying to be as focused on the breath as possible. And then over time, you increase the period from 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 20 minutes, etc. And that's how you develop that mindfulness. And that's how it would give you so much more control over your diet and what you eat. Plus, it makes you a lot happier as well in your day-to-day life, because at least for me personally, because I used to play video games, watch TikToks, Reels and Shorts, and my life was so overstimulated that I found once I began doing consistent meditation, Simple stuff like going for walks, speaking to my family, just quite basic stuff became a lot more enjoyable just because my dopamine levels has went down to a much lower level than the previous baseline they were at years ago. Now, when you first clicked on this video, I can imagine you didn't expect me to speak about meditation and thought I would speak about top 3 diet advice of 2024 or something like that. And I know it's a topic not a lot of YouTubers speak about, just because most fitness influencers will want to sell you their cookbooks or their diet plans or the other products and supplements. But with this topic, there's nothing to sell really. It's just you sitting in silence and trying to be more mindful. So if you have any questions about this, put it down in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to help you out. It's a fairly small channel, so I should be able to get back to you with relative ease. And as usual, thank you for your time and attention. It's a valuable resource and I appreciate you giving it to me. I'll see you in the next video.